What is going on, everyone? Scion's here with the Everyday Grind. Today, I got to thinking to myself, Shadowlands was supposed to come out this week. But what's important to new players? Shadowlands comes out, you start leveling, you get to level 60, then you start doing in-game stuff. And what's more important in-game stuff than Mythic Plus? And Mythic Plus, very hard on new players. Why is it hard on new players? Raider I.O, having the right Raider I.O score and knowing all the dungeons and don't join unless you have 5,000 points in Raider I.O. I've got a fix to that. But first, we're going to talk about what Raider I.O is, what it does, and how to beat the system. Here we go. All right, here we are on the Raider.io website. So as you can see here, this tracks all of the in-game content. Why is this important to a new player? Because as a new player, you're going to want to experience more of the game. Just questing and doing world quest for most players isn't going to be enough. They're going to want to run dungeons. They're going to want to run raids. This is the site that tracks all of this. Who's first, who's second, and it's important to a lot of players. And it's predicated by the player base that you have a specific score to be able to get into or pug into these groups of not necessarily raids. This is the raid page here. Let's go to the Mythic Plus page. And you can see there's different levels of Mythic Plus completions, and there's a score over here. And as you can see, these players doing these higher level dungeons, a plus 32, right? It's the same players. That's important. It's important that the same players are doing the same thing. When you're doing high-end Mythic Plus, that's a team thing. And again, Mythic Plus, you can gear just as much as you can as a Raider. It takes less time. It's less time investment. That's why it's so imperative that you understand how important Mythic Plus is as a new player. But again, Raider I.O does work against you as a new player. And the reason it works against you is because it generates a score. So if you don't have a team that you run with regularly, or you can't find a group because of time constraints, people have things to do, your friends can't get on right now, you're going to pug. You're going to get into that group finder and you're going to try to pug. The problem is your score is going to be prominently displayed for them to see. And if you don't have the proper score, you're not getting into that content. Is it right? No. Is it wrong? I would say yes and no. I understand it. From a new player perspective who wants to learn, it's bad on the player base because it alienates a new player who wants to learn, and people and players want ready-made players. You already know everything, you know exactly what to do, you have the score, come on in, we don't want to teach you. That's a choice, that's a player choice, and the person putting together the group, you have to accept that as a player. However, there's a way to beat this, there's a way to get around the system. It's not 100% perfect, but it's a really, really good thing. So again, Raider I.O tracks everything. So it tracks what dungeon you were in, what level of dungeon you completed, what time, what affixes, who was in the group, and what was the collective score. This is a big deal. However, jumping into new content, which we're going to do with Shadowlands, there's a simple way around it. There's a simple way around it, and let's talk about that. All right, are you guys ready for my answer? Here it is. So Shadowlands comes out, and you level your character, and you get to level 60, you start doing world quest. I'm going to assume, because a new player would do this, that you're going to be doing dungeons the whole time. As you're leveling up through Shadowlands, you have introductory quests into the dungeons, and then you start doing world quest. And then people start saying, hey, we want to run some Mythic Plus. And you're going to start your very first Mythic Plus at 0. And then you're going to build up from there, right? You're going to get a key. Hey, I've got a +1, I've got a +2 for this dungeon. So here's my advice to the new player. Start your Mythic Plus runs right away. Get groups together, start getting in together, because everyone's generating scores at this point. Some of those Mythic Plus runs that maybe you want to try to get into, they're going to want to score from last season. Most people are not. The new players are not. Now's your chance. Now's your time. Get in there and run the Mythic Plus early. Generate your scores early. Get your keys up higher early in the expansion, and then you just have to maintain, you just have to manage, you just have to run 1 a week or 2 a week, or whatever the new system is to get your weekly cash. That's what you do. It's simple, it's easy, but start early. That's what happens is people get in there. Hey, I got to level 60 in like 4 hours and I ran out of the stuff and now I'm burnt out. Man, you have time. Raids aren't even coming out until weeks after the Shadowlands content drops. Weeks. You have weeks to prepare. 1 character. That's all it takes. Get that 1 character, and then you start making friends. You start running with the same people. It all snowballs. It's all positivity. But if you don't start first, if you don't start out of the gate, you're going to be a little bit behind, because those scores are going to start rising, and you're going to have a score of maybe 100 and they want a score of 1,000, and now you're 900 points behind. Maybe you get in, maybe you get into a group, maybe you make your own group. You can do that too, but sometimes making your own group isn't always great either. I get that, I understand it. What's going to help you run those Mythic Pluses is, number 1, going through the dungeons and running the content. Running a lot of the content, right? Don't be afraid, don't be shy. That's what it's for, it's there. You're never gonna be good at it if you don't take the time to get in there and do it and practice. It's a big deal. And again, for a lot of new players, they want to do this. They want gear, they want all of these things. They want that in-game experience, because again, Blizzard does a really good job of providing in-game experience. But you can't get there if you don't practice, and you can't get there easier, I would say easily, but easier if you don't start early. That's my advice. It's not rocket science, but a lot of people don't do it. They get caught up in some other things. Oh, you know, and play the game the way you want. But if you want to beat the Raider I.O score, this is how you do it. You get in early, you run the dungeons, and you don't stop running dungeons. Because again, you're not raiding the first couple weeks, right? Run the shit out of these dungeons, and this is really gonna help you. I promise, I promise. And again, everyone, if you have questions about new player stuff, if you want to know more, again, I don't know everything, but I've got a great community on Twitch. I stream every day except Thursday. Come on in, ask me questions. If I don't have the answers, I can get the answers. We can ask the community. We will find you the answers. You are more than welcome to sit down with us in the channel and talk about anything new, any games, anything goes in my stream. Also, if you like the video, please like and subscribe below. I appreciate it. We've had some really good success with some videos here for new players. I love the new player. I don't think we do enough for new players, and I'm here for the new players. Sound good? That's it for me, guys and gals. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.